So really it's just about wanting to see him utilise those skills more, be a bit more tight defensively, not take any silly shots from opponents who have no business hitting him, implementing the jab, body punching, and being a bit more patient. It hasn't, obviously as I say, he did get a bad cut, but it hasn't cost him in terms of losing fights at this stage of his career. But when we start looking at the Kwendos of this world, I know that they're maybe past it slightly, but you're looking at a fighter who's quite got a lot of ring savvy, a lot of experience, a bit more of a slickster. If he goes rushing in against someone like that, there's the potential for him to be punished. For example, and I know it's a fighter I often refer to, if it was Joseph Parker versus Tony Thompson right now, I'd probably side with Tony Thompson, just because I think Thompson's got too much ring savvy, too much slick skills, and the way Parker fights and leaves himself open, I think a fighter like Thompson has the potential to expose him. My point of view is that the reason this is happening is because he's only 22. He doesn't have a lot of experience in the pro ranks, and I think his career is going really well so far. He's got all the attributes. There needs to be a bit more work done on the defence, on the tactics of how he fights. And I think what I would like to see a bit more of is the jab, body punching, and sort of not rushing his work so much, being a bit more patient. What this is leading me to is, whilst I credit the level of opposition he's been in with, I'd like to see him after Williams maybe stay at that level for 2 or 3 more fights. If he's fighting a Kwendo, great, but I think it's a bit risky as 22 to be putting him in with opponents at a slightly higher level than a Kwendo, because I think there's the potential his youth will allow him to be exposed, and I agree that he's a good talent with a lot of potential. Where I see him now, I think BoxRec have it about right, top 30, that sort of level. We'll expect him to be beating guys like Minto, like Nascimento, like, you know, the Kwendo. But he's still a bit of a way off against fighting a real sort of slick fighter like Tony Thompson, in my opinion. I'd recommend checking him out. There's a lot of his fights on YouTube. You can see him against Minto, Nascimento, Bofa, etc. He's going to be someone who gets a lot of attention. The boxing hardcore seem to like him, and his profile's only going to go up in the next year with him fighting his named opponents. So I recommend checking him out, and I look forward to reading people's comments on this guy.